Hello, everybody. This is Ashley Burnett of StrongBodyLove.com. I am so excited to be with you today and to share a resource of two women who are really creating positive change in the world through diet and lifestyle shifts. And, as someone who started out as a health coach but isn't really offering that resource as much anymore, I really wanted to have Venessa Rodriguez and Courtney Riley here today to share what they've been creating together, which is the Dive Deep Detox. And this is not about a detox where you cut, every single thing out of your life that you can't have, right? It's more about going inward, really creating the space for transformation to occur through food and lifestyle and love and soul nourishment. So this is about whole foods-based nutrition, combining meditation, yoga, journaling, breath work, self-reflection, and all of these nourishment techniques to press the reboot button on your life. And from a mental, emotional, and physical space. And they've created this beautiful whole foods-based 14-day program that is really something that it's looking at the whole picture, and it's not just about food, and it's not about dieting, and it's not about those pieces. So I am just really excited to have a conversation with them a little bit more today about the work that they do, and to kind of see how, have a conversation around body love and how it can act as a tool for self-love and transformation long-term. And so you two, I'm so excited to have you with me today and to just share a little bit more about who you are and what you do. Venessa is a certified holistic health counselor. She's a functional nutritionist. She is an intuitive nourishment coach, and she is the founder of Unveiled Wellness and Wildly Rooted, where she helps heart-centered women build physical and emotional vitality and health through these functional nutritional tools, ancient healing practices, and intuitive coaching, so that they can really kind of tap into their truth and support what they really want in their life. And Courtney is a yoga instructor. She's a certified health coach. She is a massage therapist and an Ironman athlete. She's passionate about health and wellness and helping others along the journey create a balanced and empowered life. And she really aims to hold sacred space for people to dive into their own inner knowing and inner wellness and kind of move forward towards their path to health and vitality. And so I'm honored to have you both here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You're so welcome. So I want to dive in. We're talking about the importance of body love as kind of the, something that I've talked a lot about is this idea of how the body is the shortcut to transformation, and how we're going to explore today how kind of detoxification can be kind of this life hack for deeper understanding of the self. And, how when we're in kind of inhabiting a toxic body, it can really, inhibit us living our full potential out. So I want to talk a little bit, and detoxification has been a tool that has been used throughout history. And I'm curious, actually, if you two could, before we dive into the questions that we have, talk a little bit more about that. I think that, we think detox has been a tool that's just been, kind of deemed popular in the last, 20, 30 years, but really people have been detoxifying their bodies for thousands of years. Can you two speak a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, You know, like you said, lately, over the past maybe 20 or so years, doing a detox can look very different. Co-opting of detox itself can now be a trigger for some, but the way that we look at detoxification is really enhancing our body's own natural detoxification process. I mean, our bodies are detoxification machines. That's what they do. You know, something goes in, it's got to come out. And that process is detoxification. And you mentioned, you know, detoxing being a tool that's been used for years. I mean, in all different cultures and traditions, religions, and detoxing, whether it's a fast or a specific type of diet, to tap into something deeper. So it wasn't about detoxing to lose weight. It wasn't about, you know, the trendy, latest practice that we can incorporate that everybody else is doing, or, you know, juicing, etc. But it was really to ourselves, into our connection to divine, if that was part of the tradition or religion, and connection to nature, you know, and to our bodies, and our bodies are nature. So we really hold detox in sort of that light, and we know that it can be kind of a, you know, a tricky thing to talk about. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but that's
I love that you're talking about that, Venessa, because you know, for so many people, I think that this idea of body love, so if we're talking a little bit about body love, this idea of body love and detox don't go together necessarily. Or at least people don't think so, right? Or there's kind of that taboo. Detox is a bit taboo for people in the body love industry. But I want to hear from you two how you do feel that, at least for the dive deep process that you've created, how body love and detox do go together. And so kind of expanding on what you were just talking about a little bit more there.
Well, hi, thank you so much for having us, Ashley. Both Venessa and I really feel that, so we've done a ton of different types of detoxing, whether it's juice fasting or the, you know, master cleanse, or different approaches throughout the past. I've tried a lot of them, and as I've done them, I've always had specific emotions, stuff come up for me mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually, but I hadn't found something that really supported me on those levels as well. I was definitely shifting on the physical level, but Venessa and I have been very curious about that piece of how, when you change how you eat, when you're changing one specific area of your life, there's an opening, there's this gap, there's this time, there's a space for you to dive into, to check out what's going on mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And I know I feel, and Venessa feels, that is fierce, deep reverence and deep love for yourself, that kind of compassion and care and concern to take that time away. So instead of looking at it as deprivation or restriction, you can actually see it as that space that you're holding for yourself, along with a community that's going to be holding it too, to look at what's going on. So that's for me and for us a lot of why we see it as radical self-love, as a sense of body love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Court mentioned deep reverence. So it, you know, we have this conversation a lot about how, to us, body love in essence is deep reverence for ourselves, for our bodies, and for others, and Mother Earth. So when you build that reverence, when you begin to cultivate that deep reverence for yourself and you know, for the earth, for example, then you begin to really question, you can't even fathom some of the things that you say to yourself that inner negative self-talk, or the way that we treat ourselves, what we do to our bodies, the things that we do to the earth, you know? So as you begin to really cultivate that reverence by respecting your body through food and allowing and giving it that space to reach its highest potential, you know, and get healthy from the inside out, that you begin to start looking at your life and the way that you treat yourself, and that conversation that we have in our head. And a lot of times it's also habit too. So it just kind of creates that opportunity for you to step outside of that and to really begin to question, you know, all of those things that we tell ourselves. Is that really true? Which we can go on for, you know, our entire lives believing a lot of the stuff that we tell ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. And especially around this idea of the deep reverence for the body, because I think so many people think about detox as this really restrictive thing, but it's really about cleansing. It is about body love. It's about honoring the system, you know. And when I was leading detox programs, I would talk a lot about your body as a car. It's like you take your car in for an oil change every couple of, you know, months, or twice a year, or 3 times a year, however long. Same kind of thing here. I mean, your body is like a high-powered machine, and it needs to be kind of cleaned and cleansed out from the inside out. But what I love about what you two are doing, it's not just about food, right? So I would love to hear a little bit more about that, your approach. It's not just about this food piece, but what other elements are you bringing into the detox process for you?
Okay. So we are bringing in a ton of different tools that, like you were talking about, are not just about physical well-being. Mm-hmm. We have daily journaling. We have daily love notes that we send out in order to offer tools for inner work. We do a lot of work around limiting belief systems. We all have picked up things throughout our life, right? That different belief systems that were brought into our lives from our family members, from our culture. And we really want people to understand when they're entering the process, even from the get-go, why am I doing this? And that's one of the first things we talk about, is understanding the why. For many reasons, I know even for myself in past, the why to do a detox was more about that deprivation. I wanted to lose a little bit of weight because I felt not good in my system or in my body. And as soon as I started to create space and wonderment and curiosity for my why, I could shift it from being that more negative state to understanding the positive outcome, the creating that compassionate place for, like you were saying, the oil change. The oil change that I needed also had to do with the thoughts that I was carrying around food. It had to do with the habits I had created around self-abuse and mistrust for my own intuition and body. So we have the meditations, we have the daily journaling, we have progressive relaxation, which is called yoga nidra. And it's a systematic relaxation that allows your body to go into a deep healing state. We have all these tools in there. We've actually packed the program with more tools than a lot of people can get through in the 2 weeks on purpose, so people can go at their rate and their level. Some people could do it simply for the physical piece at first and dabble in the emotional, mental, and spiritual levels, or they could go full out. So we just know that, and I know for myself that it's been an evolution of time for embracing that all those pieces, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, are really connected. That as you're changing one of those layers, the others are all affected. So each piece is created with that reverence, right? So yeah. Venessa, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, so we've had women go through our program like 2, 3, 4 times. And each time is different because they get to choose the way that they experience it. They get to choose these practices and how really deep they want to go. And everybody's path is different. So there is no right or wrong way. You know, if somebody did just want to do the nutrition piece, we want to honor that too. That's okay if you feel that that's really right for you, you know, and some people want to go deeper. And so we wanted to create that container so that it was really, you know, those storybooks that you choose your own ending kind of thing. So as you're going along, right? Yeah. So we wanted to provide something that was like that, because we know we love making things very customized, and you can't do that when you have a larger group doing this together, when you want to have the reach and extent, you know, and making this available to so many people. So we've tried to really create that container so that you can make it your own, and really, you know, we're trying to meet you where you're at and honor where you're at, because that process is so sacred for each individual.
Mm-hmm. What do you two, like, if you could offer your clients and your participants anything in terms of what they would receive from this experience of diving deep, what would that be for you?
Well, you know, right away, I just think about how, so the work that I do one-on-one with clients, I work with a lot of really, really sick people, or people that have been sick for a long time. So chronically ill, looks, you know, very different for each person. But what I have found is that for so many of them, they can't even get past, you know, imagine what their life is like without pain. Imagining what life is like without having to go to the bathroom every 10 minutes, you know? And when you're living in that type of state, it can be really tough to use that body as a shortcut, right? And to access and to tap into all the possibilities and step into your power. And so for me, when I think about, you know, bringing this to clients and to people, it's giving them a chance to sort of open up that window and that door of opportunity, just being able to see a glimpse of it. You know, it's not going to be an overnight thing for a lot of people, but just to have that understanding that, oh my God, there's like that whole world out there, and I can live that, and I can embody that, that can take somebody so far when they're dealing with something that is like, you know, really tough on a day-to-day basis. So that's what I hope to also bring to this. And it's really hope, like, I guess, a space of hope and healing on all these different levels.
Great.
And also, I think that another thing that comes to mind for me is that we really want to offer a sense of support, a sense of community, a safe place where people can go deep and feel loved and playful with what's happening and nurtured in what is happening, so that you can do that work, because that work's not always easy, but we want to provide a space so that people can have the tools to make it easier, more simplified, right? Because I think a lot of us want to start peeling back the layers and looking at what's going on for ourselves, mentally and emotionally. But a lot of us, as Venessa was saying, there's a lot of pain and suffering going on. And even if you're having pain, I think you can start dealing with the suffering piece, so that we really want to hold that space so people can compassionately and with curiosity as a seeker, open up to what can exist beyond right now. And everybody's right now is a little different. Some people are in that place of, you know, of something happening on a physiological level, and they want to have enough energy to get through their day. And some people are already living at a very externalized, out there in the world, going 100 miles an hour, involved with 100 million things, and they want to actually slow down, look inward, and get more connected with the divine. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to really create a space that offers all of that, so each person can meet themselves and understand, who am I? Where am I at? What is my next level? And if you're toxic on the inside, if you have, if you're clogged up in a sense on a cellular level, where your hormones, your body chemistry are not functioning at their optimum, it can be really challenging to stay clear and connected to what your own inner voice and your inner longing is wanting to communicate.
And to your leadership as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And what you want to bring out there.
Right. So, you know, this community here is a lot about leadership. And one of the things I want to say to this group, and detoxing and being part of a program like this is not about being perfect. In fact, you know, these ladies, this is take 2 that we've had today. I mean, when I first got on this call today, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and needed a moment to ground and center. And so we did that together, and that shifted the entire space. And so that's what these 2 women can provide, is to have that container and that support for us to drop in together, to really connect into our bodies, to be held, but to not have to be perfect. And I think it's really important to remember that as we move forward into an offering or being held. And it's not about achieving perfectionism, but it's about having an experience where we can drop into our bodies and trust ourselves again, really. And so I love what you 2 are up to. Before we wrap here, can you just tell our community how they can get started and, you know, who this is for in a couple of words?
Yeah. So, you know, we talked a lot about meeting you where you're at. And so we want to honor where everybody is. We feel that, you know, this program is for the person who this message resonates, you know, and it doesn't mean that you have to be at any particular level. It's really starting where you are. And if you feel ready to begin a journey, really, and just exploring, and it could be dipping your toes, or it could be like diving full body in, then we would love to journey with you.
And where can you find out about it? Where can they find out about it?
So you guys can find out about it at our website at divedeepdetox.com. And Ashley will also provide some information. So you guys can reach out to us if you have any questions too.
Yeah. Our next program is going to be in the next month. So we look forward to having any questions at info@divedeepdetox.com, and we can provide answers to those there. There's also a lot of frequently asked questions on our website as well.
Great. So yes, we will provide all the information in this email, and I am so excited for you 2 and for what you're creating in the world. And it's an honor to be on this journey with you. And you have inspired me, and I'm like, I want to do it. So I'm sending you so much love, and thank you so much for sharing your time, and thank you everyone for listening to this interview. We're wishing you lots of love too. Bye everyone.
Thank you.